Ladies and gentlemen, Six Fig Stock Trader here on YouTube, folks. Today we are dropping an ice cold video on Vechain. Yesterday's poll, I asked you guys what you want me to cover. Vechain by default just blew everything else out of the water. Cardano as well. So we will be maybe getting into Cardano as well in another video later today or tomorrow. So we need you to follow me on Twitter at Real6Fig. This is where I'm dropping news, information, upcoming videos, live streams, things I'm interested in. So if you're on Twitter, give me a holler at Real6Fig. Also, the Jordan Mack interview is now completely edited. We are just kind of going over a few little things before we release it to the masses. So back to Vechain, we can see that we are looking at this on a 1 week chart, and this is looking really good. So right now, price is at about almost 16 cents. So we can see that puts us just barely above the cloud. And on the weekly chart, we have 4 hours left till this candle closes. So what I'd really like to see is a close above this Ichimoku cloud. You can definitely see that the bears are selling from about 19 cents, and they are stripping that candle all the way down to about 16 cents. So with that said, one other thing I wanted to kind of point out is that we are making an attempt to travel through this really skinny portion of the cloud. In addition to that, we are bouncing off the 50 moving average. So I do think that we might see another huge run up here, and it could be like a 5 to 10x, but we will get into all of that here in just a second. One other thing that makes me bullish on this is that this red conversion line has now arced upwards over this baseline. This is a very bullish thing to see on the charts, and to give you an idea of what happens when we see this, bear with me. Here's another example down here. The 50 or the conversion line came up, bypassed over this baseline, which is the blue line, and it was just one big bullish momentum to the upside. So currently we can kind of see some trend lines here. And the most obvious one here to me is from this point to this point. Bear with me 1 second. We will drill down into the charts here in just a second. But on the weekly chart, you can really see how price action is really still in this uptrend, dating all the way back to March of 20. So Vechain is sitting good. RSI on the weekly is at 62. So let's really get into this because this is looking really juicy. Now, you could kind of make the argument that there was some sort of symmetrical triangle squeeze that happened here. It seems like Vechain has really been trading sideways since June. So to see this thing really advance outside of this symmetrical triangle is great news. Let's look at this thing on the daily and just see where that's at. So right now you can see on the daily that I do think we will see price action move a little bit closer to this cloud. And I don't know, folks. I've been saying this November 17th, November 18th, November 19th day is going to be huge for the market. So maybe that is going to be the point where this thing takes off. Nobody knows. But I just want to go ahead here and really throw up a Fibonacci channel just to kind of see what's going on with this price action. So right here we can see that price action made a bid for a nice movement to the upside, but was shut down by the 786 extension line. And the 786 level is a very common level for price action to retrace or reverse at. So it almost looks like we might be trying to set up for maybe a possible cup and handle here. And if we get lucky, I do think that it would be nice to see some sort of handle or ascending triangle, bear with me 1 second while I jockey through all these time frames, it would be nice to see some sort of cup like so, and we can kind of see how this cup is forming. That's a really nice half of a cup. So it wouldn't surprise me, to see something like this, and then maybe some sort of ascending triangle like this. And this would be ideal because we could fill out an ascending triangle like this and then move to the upside. So this would be a Fibonacci sliver by default, and that is a coin that is a term I have coined whenever we see price action squeeze up in a pattern against these trend lines in a Fibonacci channel. So this is looking really good, and I do hope that we do see a bounce off this 50% channel line for Vechain. It would not surprise me to see Vechain here over the next few days maybe run up to that 18, 19 cent level and just kind of trade sideways at that point. This is all just dependent on the market. So let's just go ahead and throw up some Fibonacci time sequence. There is something that sticks out to me right here and to right here. And my goal here is to measure a few different points to see if there are any time sequence that kind of show up right in this area. So with that said, let's just go ahead and measure this swing high down to this swing low. And you can kind of see how this time sequence really predicted a reversal point right in this area. So we had price action barreling down, time sequence shows up, and we start trading sideways. So that is interesting to see. There are a few other points of interest that I want to look at. This swing high to this swing low. Okay, nothing really there. Go down to this level here. Nothing really there. Of course, let's just measure this swing high up here to this swing low here. Okay, nothing there. Nothing there. And we got nothing right in here either. So this is kind of one of those situations where we can't really get some sort of concrete time sequence in this area, and we are trying our best not to really cherry pick anything. One thing that we can do is measure a swing high to a swing low on a shorter time frame, like what I just did there, and we do have a time sequence that shows up around November 23rd. So if we look back in hindsight, we've got another confirmation time sequence line here, which pinpointed this reversal of price action. You can see that this accurately predicted a reversal. We went from a green candle to a red candle. Same with right here. We saw a price action reversal. Price shot up. So, I mean, we can look back in hindsight and maybe verify a few of these time frames. But for Vechain for now, maybe November 23rd may be a key point date of interest. So we do have a symmetrical triangle that is really forming on Vechain right now, and we can see this, and we can map this out with trend lines very easily. And so you can kind of see how this is really kind of pointing right to about this November 17th date. And this date, folks, I've been talking about this date now for the last, week and a half. This date keeps popping up, and I'm really not seeing it through Fibonacci time sequence, but through these patterns that I'm drawing up on the chart. So I do think that as of right now, as long as the market clings on, we might be seeing some pattern like this shake out for Vechain. So we'll know in the next few days what exactly happens. Keep your eyes on that November 17th date, though. If Vechain does fail, and this is some sort of corrective wave to the downside, I think you could probably anticipate a retest of around 14 cents. So with that said, folks, keep your eyes on the market. November 17th, 18th, I will do another video on Vechain later in the week to see if this cup and handle played out. I'm really not seeing anything else that's too concerning. Maybe a head and shoulders pattern here. I'm not sure. I'm not really liking the neckline, if that is one. So we'll just have to kind of play the waiting game and see what happens. So I hope you guys found this TA helpful, and hit that like button if you guys could. It means the world to me. It helps the videos out. Subscribe. I will cover Vechain more and more the more subscribers we have asking for it. So with that said, big shout out to all the Patreons. $3 a month. Get your name, YouTube channel name, business name, whatever name you want on this banner. Hope you guys all have a great weekend, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.